Today is Thursday, the 30th of April, and we're going to be talking about the outer planets, okay? So the outer planets are the ones that are further from the sun. So far, we've already discussed the 4 planets closest to the sun, which we are a part of. And so that's Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. And now we're going to talk about those planets that I just mentioned are considered the inner planets or the rocky planets. Now we're going to talk about the last 4. And with these 4, there is something unique about them. They're called the gas giants because their atmospheres are surrounded with gas. Okay, I'm glad I don't live there. I'm glad I'm on planet Earth. So some things to be thinking about today or some interesting little tidbits too, as we're discovering more and more about these planets as there's space exploration that happens. Jupiter is the largest planet, and it has a big red spot on it. Kind of looks like a giant belly button. Come to find out that big red spot is actually a storm that seems to be continuously occurring on that planet. Saturn is known for its rings. It looks like it's got hula hoops around the center section. Uranus is the planet that spins on its side. It's the oddball. It's the February of months. How we know February is a little bit different because it has a different amount of days than the rest of the months. Uranus is different because instead of spinning like this, it's turned up on its side and spins this way. Neptune is the furthest planet from the sun, and because Pluto is now considered a dwarf planet. Before it was Pluto, like I mentioned in my earlier video, that Pluto was what we always knew to be the furthest from the sun, but it got downgraded. There are 4 moons that are around Jupiter that kind of make it unique. Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. So each of the moons that surround Jupiter are actually larger than the planet Mercury themselves. Jupiter has 63 of them, but those are the 4 largest. And it takes about 10 hours for Jupiter to rotate. So remember, rotate means this, revolve means this, okay? And again, lots of gas is what surrounds most of the planets there. Each of the moons is larger than Mercury, like I had said. And a little something interesting about Galileo, he's a well-known Italian astronomer. He did not invent the telescope, but he improved it and used it to study space. He was the first to look at our moon and discover that it was not smooth, but rough and mountainous. He also studied Saturn, the phases of Venus, and the sunspots. He discovered 4 of Jupiter's moons and observed Neptune, which he thought was just a star. At the time, Earth was to be the center of the solar system, so they didn't think it was the sun. They thought it was the Earth that was actually the center, but it wasn't. Galileo's observations support the belief that the solar system revolves around the sun. He was condemned as a heretic and lived under house arrest from 1633 until his death because he didn't believe the same way that the majority of the population believed. They said that he was nuts and that he was a heretic, and he was made to stay home, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this week learning about solar systems and enjoyed some of the YouTube videos that go a little further in depth. And don't forget, tomorrow you can use your Friday as just a day to relax. You can catch up on some work if you've not been able to get it done this week, and hopefully you are doing well. Love you guys.